Hey everybody, it's Lorenzo from GamesRadar.com, and I'm checking out Dark, and I'm here with...
My name is Victor, I'm the art director at Ramford Studios in Munich, and I'm here to show you our new game, Dark. Yeah.
Alright, tell us a little bit about what's going on right now.
Yeah, so in this game, you're playing as a character called Eric Bain, and right now we're here in this nightclub environment, which is called the Sanctuary, and it acts as the central hub in the game. So after each mission you will come back here, and the special thing is that most of the people in this club here are vampires, and so are you. And that's like the main mystery in the story. You got somehow transformed into a vampire, and you have to find out what happened and basically find out how to become human again. So in this nightclub you can always come, go around here and talk to different people. Like we can go here to the bartender. And yeah, we have a dialogue system. You can ask people stuff, and they will give you different answers depending on your questions. And yeah, it just gives you more background information, more lore. But like the main gameplay in this game is like we're really doing a stealth action-adventure game, like in the style of the old Splinter Cell games and the old Thief games, and which is actually the linear part of the game. So this is more the open part, and yeah.
So can you get different results out of talking with the dialogue wheel there?
Yeah, you can have different results. People will tell you different stuff, and we also have 2 endings for the game, depending on some of your actions over the course of the story.
So is it kind of like a good guy, bad guy kind of ending?
Not really. It's quite a bit different. It's not like in Fables, so we have no moral system. Like if you're depending on good or bad actions, it's just depending on stuff you do in the story. It's not necessarily all good and all bad.
Cool.
So this character we meet right here, she's called Rose, and Rose is the owner of the nightclub, and she's also the female protagonist in the story, and she always helps you can talk to her, and she always stays in radio contact with you during your missions, and yeah, she's just an important character in the game. And right now she sends us on our first mission in the game, which is an old museum built on top of an old castle, so which is really cool because you have the architecture of the old castle and then the museum on top of it. And because the owner of the museum is a local vampire lord, and you have to seek him out because he has some information you may need over the course to find out what happened to you. So what we're seeing right here are the cutscenes between each missions. They're like motion comic scenes with voiceover. Since it's still an early build of the game, we have no voice work yet, so it's just subtitles, but in the finished game it will be fully voiced, all the dialogues.
Awesome.
So when we arrive here at the museum, we find that some of the museum guards are already dead. And we soon discover that there has been another organization right there who are called M17, and they are like the antagonists in the game. They are a vampire hunting unit, and they arrived here before you, and it seems they're also searching for the same vampire lord. So you have to deal with them and the museum guards to achieve your goal.
So will you mostly be fighting like guards and humans, and will you also fight vampires and apparently vampire hunters?
Yeah, these are vampire hunters, and there will be several different types of enemies in the game, but there will be also some supernatural enemies in the game. So the first gameplay mechanic I want to show you is, since you're a vampire, obviously what you can do is you can just bite people and drink their blood. And you use the blood, you get blood points, which are called vitae in our game, and you use it as like the main energy source for your vampire skills. We have no traditional fighting system in the game, and you can't use any weapons, so your vampire skills are your only means to fight your enemies. And I can just give you a quick look. That's just an unfinished overview over some of the skills you will unlock over the course of the game. So the first skill I can show you is right here. Oh, there's just another gameplay element. You can see the glass shards on the floor. We call them sound traps. So as soon as you step on them, they will make noise, and the enemies will be alerted. So you have to be careful where you walk. And since there's one enemy here and one enemy over there, if I just kill this guy here, it will make too much noise and the other guard may be alerted. So I can use my first skill here, which is called Domination, and I just use it on the guy over there. So now he's distracted for a short amount of time and not able to see me, so I can quietly take this one out.
So the game is all about just strategically taking out the guards so you won't get detected.
Yeah, so we really we're really looking at each of the stages as a kind of puzzle in itself. So we really encourage the player to play as a stealth approach, to really play it as an old school stealth game. So there is no like easy fighting way through each of the missions. And obviously you have to wait for the enemies to turn their back on you to just kill them. So you find that the main entrance to the museum is blocked here, and there are some other guards right in front of you, and now we can use another skill to take them out, which is called the shadow kill. And the shadow kill, what it basically does is you dissolve into shadow, jump to your enemy and just directly take him out, and it costs you 1 blood point. Just select it here. And then jump to him and take him out. And now the other guard, very close. He already saw us. Yeah, he has already seen us, and now he's alerted and hunting us. And I can use another skill to get away, which is called the shadow leap, where I can just select an area and transport myself there. And this doesn't cost me any blood energy, but it has a cooldown, as you can see in the lower corner. And so I have to wait a few seconds to do it again. Another skill we have at our disposal is, because we don't see where the enemy is right now, we have a skill called Vampire Vision. So if you press the right shoulder trigger, you can actually see the blood circulation in the enemies, and therefore can see them through the walls. And it also shows you, this line here just shows you where the next mission objective is, so we can use that to our advantage.
Is it possible to run through the level without killing anybody and without getting seen?
Yeah, actually it's the way we want the players to play the game. So we really encourage the player to not be detected, to not be seen, because you even gain more experience points this way. So, and right now our next objective is to get inside here, and oh, there are more guards coming. And some of the enemies, as you saw here, they can repel us. So if we try to attack them from the front, sometimes they will just push us back and shoot at us. So we really have to be careful. It's not always the best thing to do, just attack them from the front. So since I fought my way through here, I can now get upstairs to the security central and just deactivate the security system of the museum and get inside. Just have to wait for this guy here. And as I said before, the character Rose, she always stays in contact with us during the missions, and now I help her to get into the security system, and then she will open the doors for me. So we have several, as I showed you before, several different vampire abilities in the game, and you won't be able to unlock all of them in your first playthrough, so you really have to play the game several times to get like all the different vampire skills. So there's one enemy just right over there waiting for me, so I can just use my shadow kill to just take him out.
So when you suck a guard's blood, you get full blood points?
No, you just get 1 blood point for each time you do it. And right now for this demo you can only have up to 2 blood points, but in the finished game you will have it will be upgradable, so you will can gain more blood points. So now I've made it to the security door, and Rose will shortly open it for us.
So you mentioned your only items or weapons are your vampire powers. Are there any additional like gadgets or anything, since this is kind of a stealth game and you'd think that that would help to get through like laser doors and things like that?
Yeah, there are no technical gadgets, but we have a lot of the stuff you would expect from the Splinter Cell games. We have in the game as vampire powers. So there is one skill where you can make a noise somewhere and distract the enemies. There are skills where you can just like see them better, their skills they can become invisible for a short amount of time, so we really have a substitute for each of the mechanical gadgets you would expect. So there are a lot of enemies here, so I have to really wait for them to go on their walking routes, and then have to wait for the right moment to attack them. So I just take this guy out first.
So what are the different types of environments you'll encounter? This is like a museum at nighttime, but will you ever have to like avoid shadows or avoid sunlight during the day and that kind of thing, since you're a vampire?
Yeah, there are different, a huge variety of different environments in the game, and not all of them will play by night, and not all of them will be in like urban environments. So yeah, we have a huge variety, and they're not just the stuff you would expect. So we really have unusual things. Like we have one stage that plays in a giant indoor garden in a skyscraper. And yeah, we have this old museum, so there's just a huge variety of environments. So since they already saw me here, I have to take some of them out directly. And I have to admit, I'm invincible right now, so if I would play that without cheats right now, I would have already been dead. So in the finished game, you can take about just 2 to 3 hits and that's it. So we really want the game to be difficult.
Yeah, so invincibility for demo purposes right now.
Yeah. So, this path seems to be clear. Now I can go on to the next area. So this next room is actually one of the bigger rooms in the game. We call it the siege room because they're still a part of the old castle wall of beneath the museum, and they have arranged a kind of siege scene for the visitors here. And as you can see, the museum guards are already fighting back the M17 intruders, and now you're in this huge room with several floors and several ways to get through. And I can just a good example of like the many different paths you could take to just this one room. And as you can see, there are lots and lots of enemies in here, so I really have to be careful. And this is early on in the game, so in the later missions it will become even more difficult. So since I don't have any vitae left, I just try to bite this guy here. You can also use your Shadow Leap skill to get through more exotic locations like this castle wall here. So it's really up to the player how he wants to tackle each of the rooms.
So do you get anything for exploring these rooms? Like, are there special items or special collectibles or anything like that?
Yeah, there are certain items you can find. There are like video players, and you can read emails. So there's lots of hidden stuff in all of the missions, and it just expands the lore of the world you play in. So, and sometimes you get bonus experience points, but mostly it's really for just expanding the story and the world. So now I found an elevator, which brings me down to the catacombs of the old museum. And there we will encounter a new enemy type, which are called the ghouls. And actually, if somebody gets transformed into a vampire, he has to drink the blood of his maker to just become a full-fledged vampire. And if he doesn't do it, he will become one of these creatures we will see right now. And they can't see very good, but they can hear you. So you really have to be careful and really quiet when sneaking around them. And because as soon as they see you, they will alarm the other guards, and they can also spit acid on you. So they're really kind of careful, really dangerous creatures.
So does that mean that our main character here can potentially turn into one of these guys?
It could be, yeah. If he doesn't find the one who made him into a vampire, he might end up as some of these guys. And another thing that makes this room difficult is that you have these audio guides over here, and when you come too close to them, they will play like some audio information for the visitors, but it will also alarm the guards, so you really have to be careful when sneaking around here. The red circle on the screen you may see sometimes, it also notifies you if somebody is close to spotting you. So as soon as you see that, you have the information just to get behind cover. So, careful. This guy is close to seeing us, and that's it.
You mentioned the cover system before. Can you talk about how that works a little bit?
Yeah, the cover system is like fairly you would expect in a stealth game. You can crouch, you can get into cover by pressing the LT button, you can get into cover behind every object in the game, and you can also easily switch between covers and use your shadow jump ability to jump between covers. So what you saw just right now, sometimes you have these kind of visions where this angel-like creature talks to you, and you encounter that over the course of the game, and it's one of the mysteries in the story to find out why this happens and what's that all about. So, and finally we've made our way to the catacombs here, and we will meet the owner of the museum, who's kind of a nice guy. He's preparing the dinner for his ghouls here. And he's one of the smaller boss fights in the game. So we really don't have boss fights in the way like you have to just run up to him and beat him. There are always kind of mini puzzles in the game, so they always have some kind of twist, gameplay twist with.
So you have to use your stealth skills to beat him, basically.
Like in this case, he now runs away, closes the gate and just lets his ghouls in. So you now have to deal with the situation that there's already a room flooded with those guys. So what I can do now is just try to sneak around them. And they're also working together with the guards, so as soon as some of the ghouls hear me, they will obviously alert the other guys. So I really have to be careful. As long as they don't see me, all is good, as long as they don't hear me. Oh, but there's another guard.
You're getting spotted.
Yeah. Just take him out. So this guy is already guarding the area here, so I have to just use my shadow leap skill to just get around him. Oh, but now one of the ghouls has seen me, and I can just stop drinking blood and run away if this happens. Now the passage is blocked again, so I have to find, now they're spitting acid at me. I have to just try to get away from here. And find another way. Just run through here. And that's it.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's basically the demo for the game.
All right, so when can we expect to play Dark, and for what platforms?
Dark is coming out for Xbox and PC in the first quarter of next year.
Awesome. So for more information on Dark, be sure to check out gamesradar.com and check out our further coverage on the game. Thank you.
Thanks.